Hi, I'm Ryan Stauffer from NASA Goddard Space Flight Center, and I will share our work with the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management on air quality observations near oil and gas operations in the Gulf of Mexico, including a past and upcoming spring 2024 ship cruise and aircraft campaign called SCOAPE-II. The Gulf of Mexico is dotted with hundreds of oil and gas producing platforms, and the Bureau of Ocean Energy Management is mandated to ensure that the emissions from these facilities do not significantly impact the air quality of any U.S. state. So BOEM partnered with NASA to conduct the May 2019 Satellite Coastal and Oceanic Atmospheric Pollution Experiment, or SCOAPE, to validate satellite NO2 measurements near these operations and to assess potential air quality impacts. In a paper led by Ann Thompson in Earth and Space Science, we find that OMI and trope-OMI satellite NO2 columns were accurate relative to shipborne and coastal Pandora instruments within about 5 to 10%, and that the NO2 amounts over the oil and gas operations were highly dependent on meteorological conditions. You can find the AGU EOS highlight based on the paper and shown in the screenshot at the left from the link here on the bottom. With the now successful launch of TEMPO, BOEM has reinvigorated its partnership with NASA to plan a SCOAPE-II cruise and aircraft campaign in June 2024. SCOAPE-II will validate TEMPO data with a suite of surface in situ and remotely sensed and aircraft measurements. SCOAPE-II will help us understand the relationship between surface and column measurements of NO2 and the effects of oil and gas emissions on coastal air quality with the higher resolution TEMPO data. And it will also have increased emphasis on greenhouse gas measurements, in particular by including aircraft remotely sensed methane measurements from AVIRIS-NG. Our work with trope-OMI satellite NO2 indicates that hotspots can be identified over oil and gas platforms shown on the map at the right, which is an average of tropospheric NO2 on calm wind days over the 2018 to 2022 period. Therefore, we expect the hourly measurements from TEMPO to give us an even better view of these hotspots, and to allow the calculation of NOx emissions to also validate BOEM's oil and gas emissions inventories. We submitted a TEMPO Special Experiments green paper request to collect up to 10-minute scans of the Gulf during our June 2024 SCOAPE-II cruise. SCOAPE-II will include quantification of oil and gas methane plumes from the AVIRIS-NG instrument. You can see an example of methane plumes collected over the Gulf of Mexico from a previous campaign in the paper by Ayase et al. We will have NO2 column amounts from the GCAS instrument, which was demonstrated capturing an NO2 plume over an oil and gas platform in September of 2021, and surface measurements from a ship to validate satellite and aircraft data and to help understand the surface-column relationship for air quality. Thanks for the opportunity to present a flash talk for HAQAST Missouri. You can find all the data from our May 2019 SCOAPE cruise at the top link, and I've listed here links to the Earth and Space Science paper on SCOAPE and 2 technical reports derived from our previous work with BOEM. If you'd like to chat more about SCOAPE-II and Gulf of Mexico air quality, please reach out to me at ryan.m.stauffer@nasa.gov. Thank you.